Cleavers up, bring them here. This is Thrift Store Finds number 5, where I buy things and I show them to you. Mostly games, because that's what I do around these parts. I like games, I like talking about games, and I like showing you games. And among the games shown, of course, you can vote on the one that you'd like to see me review next, and I will oblige. This first one I'm about to show you, are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready, but check it out. It is the Ultimate DVD Silver. Unfortunately, they did not have gold, platinum, bronze, or any of the other medals that exist. But I did not buy this at a thrift store. I actually found this at an antique store. It only cost me like $2. And I like stuff like this that, you know, ephemeral stuff like this that occupies a very specific place and time. And I think this is a 1999 DVD. It's in pretty good shape for being so old, but 1999, that's when DVDs really started to take off. And I guess this is made by Unipix, a company called Unipix, which I looked up and unfortunately does not exist, so their business model did not survive the ever-changing business landscape. But they did leave something behind, and it's all this. It just shows off what a DVD can do, which is play videos. And there's this cool thing, I'll show it to you right now. It is a car, one of those crash tests that car companies are required to do to measure the safety of their automobiles. And I did not capture it here, but you could actually change the angle. Like I was using this on my PlayStation 2, so I didn't want to bring up the screen where you change the angle. That would have ruined the look of it. But if you have the angle button on your DVD remote, you could actually press it during this video clip and actually view the crashes from different angles, which is really cool. And I like this part of the DVD because it's slow motion and it's very artistic, and what makes it even more artistic is that there's classical music set to these very violent crashes. It seems like a silly little DVD to capitalize off of an emerging medium, but there's a lot of cool stuff on here. I like this, the animations they include on it, just stuff that seems to exist just for the sake of existing. I really like non-narrative stuff that's out of context and you're not quite sure who made it or where it came from, but it's nice to look at. It's nice that it exists. But I really like this 3D animation. It's soothing almost. You turn it on. You don't have to follow it. You can look away from it. You can look at it. You can listen to it. It's just there. I don't need a story. I just need existence. I like to know that I'm not the only one that exists here, that other people are making things, that other things are real. This sounds all crazy, but if you know what I mean, well, you're one of the special people. And all of this stuff reminds me of this YouTube thing I found. Somebody remastered this film of somebody taking just footage. There's no voiceover, nothing. It's just film stock restored, and it's footage of New York City subways in 1970s or 80s. I'm not sure which decade it came from. But I really enjoy stuff like the Ultimate DVD, where there's really no fanfare behind it. It's not something that people really talk about. I had no idea it existed until I found it, and it turns out to be this neat little thing. And it's not trashy like that backyard brawling thing I found, or whatever the hell it was called, that I featured in a previous edition of this series. Alright, let's get into the games. This is Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, which I think is based off of a movie. When I found this, I thought I had already had this game in my collection. I have a disc-only copy of a Wallace and Gromit game for the Xbox, and I can't imagine something with a more limited market than that. Xbox fans, Wallace and Gromit fans, it's probably a small overlap, but to my surprise, there's actually 2 Wallace and Gromit games on the Xbox. I have the first one here. It's Project Zoo, and this came out 2 years after that one did, and it was released a couple months before the Xbox 360, the Curse of the Were-Rabbit game. I hesitated to buy this one because while the case, cover, and instruction manual, those are all in good condition, the disc itself is in rough shape. It was on that borderline where I've played games in about the same condition that have worked just fine, and I've also played games in the same condition that have not. So I took a chance. It was only $2, and the store was having a 30% off store-wide sale, so I was like, ah, screw it, why not? And I thought I had the game in the first place anyway, so I'm like, yeah, hell, even if the game doesn't work, I just throw away the disc and just replace it with the one I have. But as I found out, 2 different games, go figure. So I booted this up the other day to see if it worked on my Xbox, and that part of me that was suspicious of its working state was confirmed. I put it in, it says the disc is dirty or damaged, etc., whatever it says. But I do have a modded Xbox, and this happened to me with my copy of Whiteout, the game I reviewed, the snowmobile game that I reviewed for Xbox. This happened with my copy of that where I couldn't save it. Like, I would go into the save file and I'd like go back and the game would freeze up. I'm like, well, that's messed up. So I actually copied it onto my Xbox's second hard drive that I had installed way back when, and it worked. It worked for Whiteout, it worked for Wallace and Gromit, and so here I am playing it. It works just fine. Of course, this means I cannot sell this copy if I choose to do that sometime down the road, and I don't know, is there a disc resurfacing technique that actually works? Because I've tried a lot of them, and I don't know, I have not had much success with that. As is the standard, if you want to see me review this game, want to hear me review it, want to hear my thoughts on it, you can vote for it. And I have some other games, so don't make that decision just yet. The next one is Advent Rising, which is a game I was interested in because it had a unique marketing gimmick that I had not seen in many games. It says, oh, win $1 million. And that interested me, not for the game, but in my head I thought, wait, if you're tempting me, if you're trying to lure me in with the chance of this $1 million prize, what is wrong with your game? But apparently there's a story written by Orson Scott Card. So I don't know what they were thinking with this game. Maybe they just didn't think the game on its own had enough strength to stand on its own merits, so they added this $1 million contest. And I don't know who won it. Did anybody win it? I'm not sure. I didn't look much into that. Did you, anonymous viewer, win it? That would be pretty cool. What'd you do with the money? Did you save it? Did you put it in a Roth IRA? Did you put it into bonds? Did you? I don't know. What did you do with it? I have not heard much about Advent Rising beyond its marketing gimmick, but I guess it's not something that was that memorable. I'm not sure. Here I am playing it, and it seemed alright from the little bit I played, just to get some footage of it so you have something to look at. Doesn't seem like Advent Rising has a reputation one way or another. The only thing I know for sure about it is it was released to personal computers as well as the Xbox. But if you like this game and have fond memories of it, let me know. What did you like about it? The game looks good, I'll say that much. Cool, futuristic motif, good art direction. It's pleasing to the eyes, and that's all I have to say, so we're going to go to the next and last offering for this week. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Wii in this ghetto case that it came in. So when I saw this on the shelf, I thought, oh man, this disc is going to be mangled, or it's not even going to be in there at all. But the disc was in there, and it was in pretty good shape, so it plays fine on my Wii. And this is actually one of the more recent games that I have found. It released in October 2013, if all of the documentation online is to be believed, which I have no reason to doubt it. But a 2013 game seems a little late for a Wii game. The Wii U was out after all, and you know, that didn't do too well, but that's aside from the main point. I was surprised to learn, though, that they're still putting out the Just Dance games for the Wii. They're still making new games for it, which is amazing to me. I think I saw like Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the Just Dance game that I just talked about. They're still selling those at Walmart, so just goes to show you how successful the Wii was at, what are we, 11 plus years after its initial debut. That it's still on retail shelves. Anyway, this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again, based off of the Nickelodeon TV show, which I have no familiarity with. I've never watched it, I've heard of it, but I don't know the first thing about it other than that it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. But I actually like the two Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies they put out. I think the first one 2014, second one 2016, if I'm not mistaken. I like those actually, and a lot of people, they saw that Michael Bay was producing them and knee-jerk, that's gonna suck. But I watched them, I thought they were pretty entertaining. And let me tell you something about Michael Bay. You watch any of his movies outside of the, I guess, first two Transformers, because I like those, but after that I just stopped caring. It's like, what's the point? But let me tell you something. If there's a movie that I'm going to review, I'm going to review Pain and Gain. That is a fantastic movie. I think that is a modern classic. I don't care what anybody says. That is an excellent movie. I didn't think it was as good as Pain and Gain, but I did like the 13 Hours Benghazi movie that released a couple of years ago that Michael Bay directed as well. Yeah, this is a nuclear take, or whatever you want to call it, but Michael Bay movies are underrated. You heard it here first. I'm sticking by it. I mean what I say. Tangent over. Check out these 3 games. Check out the link below, and check yourself before you vote. I don't know, but just whatever one of these games you want me to review, check out that link below and vote. And I will review the #1 choice, the most popular choice, and I will do that as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, listening, voting, participating. Alright, talk to you again soon.